They help in measuring national income. And what is national income? It is the total sum of all the goods and services produced, the final goods and services produced in an economy, right, by the residents both outside and inside the domestic territory, as we've already done. But the three things you should take into mind: depreciation, indirect tax and subsidies, and net factor income from abroad. These are the three things that must be kept in mind. And aggregates show us there are statistics, various statistics that help us measuring what is national income. With the help of this, economists have something. They have a certain measuring rod. They have some formulas to measure the national income. Isn't that so interesting? Now, for that, you know that there are goods and services which have to be seen on for depreciation, and if the depreciation value is added, it's gross, and if it is not, then dead. It's net. And second thing is, if the net indirect taxes, that is indirect tax minus subsidies, are not considered, then you look at them from factor cost. So the economists needed to keep a track of exactly how much is being produced, as well as where it ends up. So economists developed a huge accounting apparatus which is known as national income accounting, as it's called, to measure the economic activity. So they produce some useful statistics which we can call GDP, gross domestic product, gross domestic product at market price, gross national product at market price. Here we have net domestic product at factor cost, net national product at factor cost. Now these are the aggregates which help us in understanding, or rather measuring. They help in the measurement of the money value of the total goods and services produced in an economy in a given financial year. So if we are talking about domestic product and we have G with it, that is gross, then we are talking about the domestic product. That means all the goods and services that are produced within the domestic territory of a country. But we take in the value of depreciation is added here. So when depreciation is added in an aggregate, it becomes gross. And if it is not, if the value of depreciation is not taken into account, then we call that particular aggregate as net domestic product. That means the goods and services within the domestic territory of a country, they do not have the value of depreciation therein. So that becomes net domestic product. So going further, another aggregate, GDP MP. Now you've understood that domestically produced final goods and services in a given year, etc. So domestic product is gross, means where the value of depreciation is added, but there's something known as market prices. So what is this market price? It is that once a product goes to the market, it is slapped with some indirect taxes, and sometimes it's given subsidies. So since we are talking about the totality, national income as a whole, then you take in as NIT, net indirect taxes, indirect tax minus subsidies. So when you consider that net indirect tax, then it is known as market price. That means the good, when it goes to the market for selling, has within itself the net indirect tax. And then we have what is known as, what is net domestic product. It has no value of depreciation, that's why it is net. domestically produced goods and services, and factor cost means that all the goods and services are calculated at just the factors of production: land, labor, capital, enterprise, what you have paid for them. Then we come to another aggregate, which is GNP MP. So you've understood gross, you've understood market prices. Now what is this NP? NP is net factor income from abroad. When it is added to domestic product, net factor income from abroad, then it is known as GNP MP. It has the value of depreciation, it has net indirect tax. Okay, so this is known as GNP MP. And here you have NNP FC. That means you have in the domestic product, you add in net factor income from abroad, it becomes national product, but it has no value of the depreciation. That's why it's called net. This aggregate becomes net national product. At factor cost means it does not have net indirect taxes. That means they are evaluated at the factors of production. That is why it's known as factor cost. So what are the factors of production? Land, labor, capital, enterprise. I hope you've understood a little.